Jake was here, aka One Take Jake. I do videography, camera stuff.
Welcome back to the Unpleasant Thoughts Podcast. I'm your host, Shampoo, aka Big Shampoo.
This your boy Sly, the guy, no lie.
And we got another special guest with us today. Let them know your name,
Hello.
where they can find you, and a little bit about what you do.
Alright, Jake was here, aka One Take Jake, aka Videography. You can find me in the streets shooting everything, or I'm Jake was here online more formally. I do videography, camera stuff, you know.
Alright, man. Appreciate you coming on, man.
I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
We're gonna go ahead and jump into it. My first two questions is where you grew up and how you get into the videos,
All right.
videography.
You want me to answer the grew up first?
Yeah.
Okay. Born in Victorville, California.
Okay.
Dad was in the military, so I moved all over the place. So when I came out here in 2008 from Colorado, when I came out here, just was working regular jobs and stuff, and actually in 2010 had major back surgery. I had tumors that were in my tailbone. So
Shit.
I had 4 surgeries over the next 2 years. I started blogging, you know, in the meantime, because I wasn't really working, started blogging. And then I got into Respect Magazine. I started writing for them and covering shows. Around that time is actually around that Bo shot him at a show. We had a studio in 2015 in Georgetown that we were managing together, still kind of shooting with the magazine, still kind of doing all that at the same time, and that studio went under, and since then started booking. About 2016 I really started booking like actual shoots and really starting to put the brand out. And I mean, since then, man, it's been, you know, these last 2-3 years since I've been with P Stu. You guys are, you guys know P Stu really well, obviously.
Sure.
It's been crazy.
So you had like a journey with the camera.
I mean, it's been 10 years, man. I mean, really picking up the camera was just really a byproduct of doing the shows for Respect and stuff, and covering, you know, Broccoli City for them and stuff. So I was going to get a camera. I had no idea what I was doing, zero clue.
You remember the first camera that you had?
Canon Rebel T3i.
Yeah. Somebody teach you how to use it, or you just learned?
It's one of those things where you get on YouTube, right? You just dive into YouTube, and then, you know, but you have to master it. That was the thing that I wanted to dive in with. What I was doing is mastering any equipment that I was using at that time, no matter what it was, because everything was a stepping stone, you know. So I knew going out, and to think, even see, I kind of put that metric on it, but in reality, that camera was decent. I mean, the T3i shooting in 2013, 14 was okay, right? But looking at it now, it's like, yeah, I was really undershooting, you know what I'm saying? And that just comes with time and progression and all that, right? So
It's like with that, anybody in your family did videography before you, or anything besides the music? None.
No. I got some home movie stuff and shit like that kind of.
Okay.
That's it, man. Yeah, just corny old like dad in the mirror shit, but that's it.
You also edit too, though, right?
I do. Yeah.
All right. So how did you learn that?
See, I don't know if I'm from the generation or I'm from the time where I thought those two things were synonymous with one another, right? I thought you shot your own stuff, you edited your own stuff, and you put it out that way. I work with guys now that have editors, and I think it's great. Like, the process of that is great, right? But there's just something about seeing the entire thing through from inception that, I don't know, I thought that was just kind of baked into what we did. You know, so I didn't know that I had a choice. Shooting, I thought, oh shit, I gotta learn editing now too, so.
Yeah, I understand that. I do a little bit of both too.
Right.
I started with like a little digital camera. I don't even know what the hell that was.
Like a point and shoot?
Yeah,
Like a point and shoot?
That was probably.
See, when I lived in Colorado, I had, are you guys familiar with Sharper Image? You remember that sort of Sharper Image? It was like a Spencer's gift from Brooks Brothers. Like, nobody bought shit in there. You went just like fuck with all the stuff they had in there, right? So I had a camera from there, and it was a digital camera. It held like 3 images on it. It was absolute trash. But that was real, my first foray into that. Like, oh, this is cool.
I learned how to edit on the Windows Movie Maker. I was probably back in.
Oh shit. See, iMovie. I was on iMovie early, but then with Final Cut, I still edit on Final Cut because
I use that too.
Yeah, because my library is so vast now with all my plugins and stuff that I've built it to such a place where it's just, you know.
Have you dabble with the other
DaVinci Resolve, yeah. DaVinci's really solid. You know, if you're shooting cinema stuff, it's really good. And I know Premiere is one of the more popular ones.
Yeah, that's the one a lot of people use.
Yeah.
I'm the Final Cut.
Yeah. So, and like I said, mine is just based on the fact that my library is huge on that now. My plugin package, I built that over the last decade almost. So it's one of those things where,
Okay.
you know.
What cameras do you use, and how many different ones do you use?
All right, so I was shooting A7 III in New York, and when we were up at Fashion Week, and I don't know if we touched on that before. I think we talked about that, but I got that whole rig stolen up there at Fashion Week.
Oh, you did. You missed it.
Yeah, so I had that. So I had that on there. So and I'm also shooting the Black Magic 2 with the 2.8 Sigma Art Series. I shoot a couple of lenses on the Sony. So when I came back from New York, I was like, I'm gonna upgrade. So I got the A7 R3, and then the G Master 35 Prime. So I shoot that for Sony. I have a couple like just OSS lenses that I shoot on there too, but then I shoot the 2.8 Art on the Black Magic.
Do you have a preference between them?
The Black Magic.
Black Magic.
I mean, the thing is, seeing, because you see the difference, right? Like the Sony is such like a readily dope product that you can kind of pull off and touch a little bit and then send out. And log footage from the Black Magic it looks not even great, but it's like, it's what we just talked about. When you see that process through all the way, like, oh damn, that's what this has the ability to look like.
Yeah.
So there's something real rewarding about doing that, you know, and it's the newer cam too, so I think you always just fall in love with the newer shit.
How many cameras have you probably been through? Like, do you upgrade every year? Do you give yourself?
I don't actually, and for a while it was about, you know, it's a fiscal decision. I mean, you're making it based on your finances and stuff too, right? When you upgrade and stuff like that.
That's expensive equipment.
You know, so right, exactly. So, but I've been through eight cameras at this point.
Oh,
I think now, yeah, 8
Well,
cameras.
you can keep track. I say it hasn't been.
Right, it hasn't been crazy.
Right,
Right.
it's been too crazy.
Right. So, and also I have some film cameras. I use like an old Olympus camera and a Steadicam and stuff too that I have available. I just never, you know, pull those out. It's like.
So we know you do events because we seen you. Like, what are some other things that you shoot other than events?
Honestly, man, I always considered that kind of a strong suit of mine, is being able to shoot everything, right? From brands and products to events, like you said, shows, tours. I mean, with Bo, we've shot dozens of shows. We've been on tour. We've been around the country. I mean, like I said, brands too: Raw, Avion Tequila, Jack Daniels. I did a bunch of toy photography throughout the pandemic, which I fell in love with. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay too well at the moment, so we gotta tackle other avenues, right? But that was cool.
Cosplay.
Cosplay stuff, yeah,
shit,
absolutely, cosplay stuff. Yeah, thank you, man. So anything like that, like any sort of marketing stuff, I'm cool with any of it. What I like shooting the most is I like being on the brand and product side, right? There's something where I can take something and be with it on my own and take my time. I might be able to shoot for 6-7 hours and fuck with it, and it's on my time. There's something about that, right? You know, I love working with tons of clients I work with that I love, but you're on their time. You know?
They give you a time frame, you just gotta.
Right, and you gotta make it work, right? But when you're shooting like a brand or a product and they have some stuff for you, hey, here's this, it's cool. It's such a peaceful thing.
Yeah, you're like, I know what, I'm gonna come back to that and make it that way, or before I even send it out, I'm gonna touch it up some more. But like I said,
and you're never satisfied, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, like shit,
Never
I'll
satisfied.
I had like 10 different versions.
like Prince's mother, dude.
Yeah. Like, so go back to the military, you travel a lot, like with family. Does it make it easier to be like different scenes and shooting different people, being around so many people?
Yes,
Since
absolutely. Absolutely. There's an acclimation aspect to it. My brother Benny and I were just talking about this. Is growing up and moving around and being able to adapt to friends and stuff, right? Because I think I'm moving every 2-3 years, making whole new friend groups. And that shit's not easy. You know, you move into small towns, so kids know each other, they grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to do that, I think, helps me navigate this sort of matrix that we're in now just easier. I mean, I'm older now, so you just, there's a huge part to play in that.
Everybody doing that online. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Right, exactly, right.
So traveling and that, like, you say you was writing for
Respect Magazine, yeah.
Okay.
Because I originally started blogging just on, It's a Rap. Obviously, that was the blog I had. And I'm just doing interviews, and I had linked up with A3C. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, the festival in Atlanta. It's a big festival every year. And so I started doing the blog for them. I had a series called Take 5, just an interview series. And that was cool because that got me into interview tons of artists, you know, like Schoolboy Q's and Gunplays and all of those guys at that time that were there. But then that kind of morphed into the Respect Mag I did for a few years, which is really cool.
You prefer writing or going out doing the blogging?
I mean, I like the reward of what the shooting brings, right?
Okay.
I mean, there's way more reward, just not even in visibility, but in financial reward. But writing, I love it. I mean, I'm in the middle of writing a book right now that I hope to finish by the end of the year.
Tell us anything about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just it's a social satire, basically. It's just a kind of a mockumentary take on culture. It's got like some personal stories and stuff, but it's kind of fragmented like a self-help guide, but like you can't help yourself because like we suck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Best worst critic I could be.
Right. Right.
I'm good today. No, it was yesterday.
Do you edit all your videos, or like some of them you have like other people edit? Because I know some, like I know you edit your videos, so having somebody else do it,
Yeah.
you might like, oh, they messed that up. You might don't.
See, I would like to, right? I'd like to have a team of guys that I would be willing to hand it over, right? And there's guys. I mean, there's guys that shoot better than me, and there's guys that absolutely edit better than me, right? You know. But I just think having those two things together is just important. We've even had Bo and I had a couple of projects where we shot and we sent it off and did something. We were kind of, yeah, maybe we should just edit it ourselves next time. You know, just keep it here, because you can get creative. And shooting with the people that you're shooting with, like say it is clients that are repeat people or even homies and stuff, like you get used to a certain flow and a certain style that just works better than trying to send it off and have a person that's outside the circle.
You might ask my editor, like, hey man, that's too much flashing. I didn't want that much flashing in the
Right,
camera.
right. And a lot of times, I mean, I know, because I know how Bo is. Bo will go back to the editors a lot. He'll go, you know, with notes and stuff, and you know, just because he knows what he wants, it's how it is. So I would like to, and there's some really good editors that that I'm gonna have to get to a point to send that to, because the plate now is insane. Like I'm at a point now where the editing is backed up about 3-4 weeks. You know, and I've never even been to that point in years. So I'd say the last year and a half has been that. So
That's a good thing.
to answer to a long answer to your question is, yeah, I need to send it off to editors.
All right, so for an average, like when you shoot an event, on average, how long does it take you to edit? Like one of those.
That's all. Stu will like me saying scope and scale, but it's all scope and scale, dude. It all just depends on the time, right? Because if I'm shooting a 2.5-3 hour club thing, I might put 4 or 5 hours on an edit, because I never scrimp on an edit, right? But if I'm doing a Black Smoke episode, or we're doing you know, like a tour or something, I mean, You Get Me, Bo's last video, I put a good 20 on that probably, and that's just, I mean, it's color grading, so I probably put a good 20 hours on that. That was 1.5 minutes long. You know, but that's also me too. You know, that's also me fucking around and going back and
chopping it up.
Exactly, not being happy with what it is and stuff. So yeah.
Is it easy, like you go out and shoot like a 2-3 hour event, but turn it into a 1-2 minute recap, right? Is that like, oh, like what should I cut?
Dude, it's hilarious because I think the expectations are funny sometimes, right? Like when you go out and you shoot recap, I've had people ask me for like, yeah, like this is dope, but like, where's the rest? It's like, well, this is kind of what it is though, right? Like I covered 3 hours and there's a whole photo set and a recap. It's like, it's kind of like what comes with it. Because people don't, on the back end of things, people don't understand, right? Like when you guys will take this product today and whatever you have to do to it, color correction, whatever you guys do to it, right? Audio and all that,
yeah.
It takes time, man. It takes time. People will leave a shoot and say, hey, how's that looking? And it's like, I haven't even, first of all, I haven't gotten home and changed clothes or do shit yet, right? So when I get there, then I'll start thinking about what I'm gonna do with this product, right? So, but yeah.
Like, you done yet? You done yet? Yeah, you done
honestly, man, and I feel like it's a fucking Twilight Zone, because I'll often feel like I'm being like over, like, oh, what the fuck? But I'm like, wait a minute, no, this is like the day, this is the next day. This is 2 days, right? Like, you know, I have certain like teams, obviously Bo, Stu, like we're on a different schedule, right? So we shoot, we turn that stuff around in a day or two. You know, that's just how we work. But other than that, I mean, yeah, I've had clients send me and be like, how's that looking? It's like, it's looking still on the camera, you know what I'm saying? It's looking probably pretty good on there, right?
Yeah. So like you venture much like outside of like your own team?
Yeah, I mean, yes, and I even this year, getting together with Grindstone and then former Grindstone meetings, that was a huge venture out into doing something that was with people that we didn't really know. I mean, Stu had a relationship with them, and I knew Pinky and EU and those people, of course, great artists, but I didn't, working together as a family type situation, really, yeah, that was a whole new thing. So, but even taking outside clients, I do that. Like you guys know Don Gillet, like getting her to shoot her videos, Erie Ave, shooting stuff with him. So yeah, any, you know, there's a lot of artists that I will work with. But there is a thing for me about building in-house where I want to see, you do want to see your team win, right? It's kind of like a cliche, sort of, yeah, but you really do. Like you want to see the guys around you, everyone just grow bigger and bigger and do bigger things. So we're focused on that too.
And then also the chemistry, it makes it a lot easier. Like you said, you got P and Bo, so it'd be like, all right, get turned around so fast in the day because I know already kind of the idea where everybody wants right in there.
Absolutely.
He might not have to come back
But
with as many notes.
yeah.
No, right, no. And it's funny because Stu's a pretty low note dude, and Bo's a low note guy. You know, so he'll hit me with low notes. You know, but he's still got some. Send it back. Yeah, we gotta touch this, right? So yeah, but you're right. It is a chemistry thing. It's working with people like this.
What would you say is like the most challenging thing in the field of it all? Like, what is the most challenging to you?
Man, I want to do anything but sound cliche and corny, dude. That is my one mission, not to be cliche. Patience, absolutely in this thing, man. Patience, and that's not to say that, because you know people talk about their worth and stuff like that, right? That's tough to kind of quantify sometimes, because everyone says that about everything all the time, right? But absolutely patience and knowing that you are valuable to something, right? It's not on you as a person. If you're doing a service and you're working hard, it's not on you to just always do things for free and always do things for a super cut rate and always just be that, right? Because I go online all the time and hear about you and I put in this work and I totally understand that. That's all I did. I mean, I worked for free for years and years, bro, and I totally understand that. But the longest con in this game is that you got to do a bunch of shit for free that you don't have to do. And that's the pimp game. And that's the pimp game in this, where that's why people with money have money, and some people who don't have money say not having money, right?
For exposure.
Exactly. It is, man. It is. That exposure talk, Bill Burr talks about that. He's talking about the exposure. It's the biggest bullshit. Now, early in your career, you got to dive in. You got to work hard. And you got to do that, right? And it's funny because I can sit here and talk about that and say it's BS, and I'll still do exposure moves once in a while, right? So it's kind of hypocritical. That's how the business is. But you do get to a point where it's like, listen, you're selling me some shit now. You know, like you're just not taking advantage.
Come to the event, I get you to meet somebody, this person, I'll get you to meet this person. And he's like, I already was gonna be here anyway.
Right.
They might forget to introduce you.
Right. It's navigating that sort of like.
He was running around, I couldn't catch up with him.
That's funny. And navigating that amount of people that have something for you too, man. They can tell you what they can do for you. You know, I know this person, man, and I know you guys have seen that. I've run into thousands of those people, man. Everybody's got somebody doing something, bro. So.
Did you have like a favorite aspect of it all? It's just like, I know you probably love it all, but it's like favorite.
Honestly, personally rewarding for me is reaction. Like when, if I send Bo or I send anybody that I'm working with, if I send Grindstone or P Stu or Pinky or just reactions to stuff saying, yo, this is great, or like, yo, this is fire, man, like, you know, you really do the thing here. Any one of those compliments. I mean, you guys have even said things to me like, hey, you know, look up to what you do. I mean, those things are incredibly motivating, incredibly grateful for stuff like that.
I didn't see you switch cameras and sets. I'm like, damn, like.
Right, man. So it's that, you know, there's something that drives you to be better, because if there's something intoxicating about people saying, hey man, you're really doing the right thing, or you're really on the right path. And if you can share some of that, man, it's just that. It's intoxicating, dude.
Especially when you don't even have to ask for it. Especially when people telling you, just like, damn, I didn't think I was working as hard as I am, but somebody watching you do it.
Oh, right.
Tell you,
I mean, and man, I still act that way. I mean, it's just that is my life. That is my life still now. You guys ask me to be on a podcast. I'm like, oh shit, like someone wants me on a podcast to talk. Like that's crazy. You know, it's all. You know, a lot of people get very lost.
That's a great service. I don't underrate it, but a lot of people do.
No, yeah, I mean, it is. It's great. You know, people don't, right.
And they don't know what goes into it. Like, even the editing, I feel like that's definitely an underrated part of it, too.
Right.
Like, that's kind of, might take longer than the shoot.
Definitely. Bro, it takes probably 2-3 times to shoot, right? Typically, most times, right?
Yeah. I mean, especially with the camera, snap, holy shit, it's blurry, you moving too fast. I had it for a second.
You're like, listen, I had to. You know, my thing with 2 cameras is, do you guys shoot 1 cam each?
Yeah, he do video, I do pictures.
Right, and see, but that's how you got to do it, because like doing the video photo thing is extremely difficult, man. And like, and even now, right? Because I'll have the Sony on the rig, I'll be shooting Blackmagic, and then I'll want to take a full photo set. So it's not just the cam; it's switching your settings back, right?
What?
So you know that having some people on it.
I can't do pictures. I say they have to be moving for me. I say I can't do it.
Man, you gotta catch him the right moment. He might put the mic up. Yeah, gotcha.
Right.
I need the whole thing. You moving. I can see when I'm editing. Like, all right, that's what I.
Right.
I respect it. I
Right,
respect
no,
it. I
definitely.
definitely respect it. You do both of them.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Do you have like a preferred one for the pictures, or is it the same?
I only shoot the
both?
Sony. Yeah, I only shoot the Sony. Yeah, because the black is just all film.
Oh, video.
You can shoot stills on it, man. We did a thing for Songbird, Bo's rehearsal. I shot some stills on there early, and they're cool. Like they're cool, but it's pretty limited. You know, you're not getting any crazy movement. So,
Oh, yeah.
you know. So you're not shooting a flash on it either. So it's relatively limited.
What would you say is your greatest achievement as being a videographer?
Man. On paper, I would say being head of content for Grindstone Media Group. Ethereally, I would say just connections and being able to take something out of absolutely nothing and build it to whatever that is, to my scale, you know, or you know, it doesn't have to be the biggest thing on the planet, but taking something and building it from nothing is it's gonna be that, right? You know.
Satisfaction.
Yeah. Man.
Have you like shot any like short films, long feature films, any type of thing? Or is that something you're looking to get into?
Absolutely, something I want to shoot a horror film, right? I really want to shoot a horror film. I've shot a couple shorts. We did one for Oops with my homie Taylor Swift. She's awesome. She was in that. She's actually in Bo's Oops video too.
I've seen it.
Yeah, that's funny. So
Like,
yeah, so we shot. That was a short for that, and also we want to do kind of like a mockumentary style, like single camera.
I'm like,
Right.
it's like CB4. That's a great one. I like that.
Never seen before. It's fantastic. What a great reference! I've never seen before
Yeah.
ever.
A great mockumentary type
That's great.
situation. So you say horror, like you have an idea for it, like you want to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you want to be involved in like the writing process
Oh, dude,
of it too.
all the way around, man. Write it, direct, all that, dude. Because it's doable. Horror's doable. You know, you get fake blood, some smoke.
somebody dies.
Somebody dies. You got like some big, like muscle bound dude. You get some beautiful women. It's pretty simple, dude.
Which camera do you plan on using for that one?
The black and like 3 other cams I'm probably gonna need for that, dude. Yeah, that's gonna be a project. But like even our boy Aaron, my man Mook. There's a couple guys I'd want to enlist for that. That's a bigger project than just me, right?
Yeah.
You know, but from the directorial side, yeah. Like,
Yeah, that's you get the director and put that.
because horror can be campy and fun, but it can be campy and fun in a funny way, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Chucky. You know, my son loves Chucky, but like,
see, Chucky's legendary.
but see,
That's legendary to me.
Yeah.
I guess it's horror, but he's still
Right, exactly. It's straight camp.
Still
It's like cabin fever movies like that. Those are comedies,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, bad ones.
And you got the slashers and you got the gory ones,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
right. And they got like the Saws, which is like the torture porn
Yeah.
stuff, you know, and then, you know, the paranormal activity stuff, yeah.
You can say any like inspirations like far as people behind the camera.
Oh, man. Well, Christopher Nolan, I think, is the best director, period, in film. Obviously, that Dark Knight trilogy,
Yeah,
Oppenheimer,
some of the best
Dunkirk.
Batman.
Yeah. I'm not sure as far. I'm not sure I can give it even a decent answer to that, because I always like inspiration for me is like comic books. I'm a huge comic book fan and stuff like that. It's comedians. It's stuff that's outside of that, right? I always thought if I look too deep into certain photographers, certain styles, then I'll start emulating certain things. You know, not that I would have the ability to emulate a Christopher Nolan right now.
Yeah.
Let me be very clear. Right?
That's a budget.
It may not be
Yeah, right. Let me be very clear.
It may not be intentional. It's just like, yeah,
Right, but it was that. So it's kind of one of my own
Like
style.
Batman.
Yeah.
How would you describe your style, your shooting style? And,
It used to be
and
dark.
or editor.
It used to be dark. Like, I used to like this whole dark. I used to shoot photos like they were dark. Like the tones were like the green, you know, greens, yellows, and shit. Like reds, love that. And now, man, it's like to execute in a sharp way. I'm not sure I have a style. I have a style in my recaps, right? You're gonna get like black cuts and stuff like that, fast cuts, big text, things like that. But I'm not sure I found one. I'm not sure I found a lane for like film and short film. I'm not sure I have one yet. I think it'd be egotistical of me to even say that I have one.
Yeah,
You know
so
what I'm
you
saying?
had to try it out and
Right, exactly.
see where it goes.
Definitely.
That's all right.
Well, I'm gonna go get my top 5 for you.
Okay.
All right, so top 5 artists you haven't worked with that you would love to work with or shoot for, you know?
Sheesh. That's tough.
Yeah, I can
Man,
see
that's
us,
tough.
I can see us doing a video.
Yeah.
Man.
Or like, yeah. You need a
Top
video
5
for me.
artists, and we're talking just art around, right? Just
Yeah, all around. Yeah.
No box.
No box. Yep.
You got something for that, Boski?
What's the question?
Top 5 artists. I mean, I've already worked with the goats, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Do you want to shoot with it?
You know, yeah. Yeah, dial on.
Look inward.
Yeah, I'm not even sure, man. I think it would be. I would love to shoot Bill Lamar.
Oh.
You know Bill Lamar? I love to do a photo shoot with him. He's just a comedian, a late night guy. Maybe Ruby Rose.
Yeah.
Ruby Rose is fun, dude.
Yeah,
We were just talking about Ruby Rose.
I should for it too.
Yeah, I think, you know, I might do that one on the free, you know, for the exposure
Little
type.
exposure,
That might be an exposure shoot.
No problem.
Yeah, I don't even know top 5. That's tough for me, man.
Yeah, I know. They give it to everybody.
Man, yeah.
There's so many names you're gonna think
Oh,
of. So you
dude.
get the call, you're like, damn.
Right, yeah, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna say like 40 names. Like, hey, these are all the guys.
Yeah, these are the guys right
Gave
here.
me class
That's
work.
funny.
Like another top 5, like top 5 places you would love to travel
Mm,
and get some scenery of.
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
I've been a lot of places. I've been a ton of places too. I used to live in Germany and stuff, so I've been overseas. And Tokyo for sure. Dublin, Ireland, be amazing. You know. Man, that's a sound. Usually, I thought it was a lot quicker on my feet. Yeah. Like a rural Tennessee, but that's attainable. But I've always wanted to shoot rural Tennessee. There's like models that I work with that do a lot of stuff in rural Tennessee. There's a ton of really cool spots out there. Shoot.
Tokyo, Ireland, and then Tennessee. 2 more.
Oh man.
You been to Egypt?
Haven't been. That's so Egypt. I was just gonna say Egypt, man. You're right. I'm totally kidding. I was not gonna say Egypt, but we'll run with that for sure. Egypt works. And then if we colonize Mars, hopefully I'll be one of the first dudes to shoot some shit on Mars, man.
No
Boom.
box right there. Mars.
Exactly.
That's a great answer
Yep.
right there.
No limits.
No limits.
One of the ones I know Collateral, I had watched that joint and then like it's just like LA at night. I like the way that look, and digital wasn't really as
Collateral with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx is
yeah,
fantastic.
it wasn't really as prevalent as it is now shooting on digital.
Right.
Like that.
Now, if you're asking about tone, right, like not even my style, but my favorite kind of tone, you give me that 90s LA, that Helter Skelter style, absolutely, man. Like the Charles Manson stuff, the Cold stuff, that sort of, we were talking about this the other day at the crib, talking about the Viper Room. That style, there was like an anonymity to celebrity and shit. It was dark. That style is like, I would love to shoot a film in that style.
Yeah,
Have you seen Nightcrawler?
Yeah,
With,
Jake Jones?
Yeah, he's the driver. That,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
That, yeah.
I'm definitely saying that.
Fire.
I think LA one of them places, they make it look good on film.
It just, yeah, it's just
I've
natural.
never been, but
It's just natural.
What's some of the places you have been? You say you traveled a lot.
Oh man, we've been New York, Philly, all those places. We went out to LA in 18, was it 18 or 19, Bo?
Which place?
We went to LA to finish the album. It was 19?
18.
18? Yeah, 18, we were out there in LA. We met everywhere in the States, but overseas, London, Germany, Switzerland.
Yeah, you got put it right where you went.
Yeah, we've been, a bunch of places. But even those things, like, that was like out of high school. That was before I was even like doing what I was doing, though.
Damn.
You know, so you appreciate it way differently. You know, I would love to go back and actually work in these places instead of, you know, like
Just being
hammered.
there.
Right? It's totally different. Right?
Yeah. Like, you got anything coming up?
We got The Peace in the Air, Tuesday, June 13th. So we got that coming up. That's major. So tell your friends, tell their friends, you know. We got Bo and I got stuff that we're working on. Don Glace and I are getting ready to shoot her visuals in Erie Ave. We got some stuff coming up. We're working a campaign, the book, and Black Smoke. So yeah, a whole lot of irons in the fire right now, man.
You ever try like start your own merch?
So I've done merch a couple times. Yeah, I've done a couple runs of those. Like just Jake was here, tees and hat. So we've done a couple merch runs. And yeah, getting back into that would be great. It's a time. It's a, you know.
That's time consuming too.
It's just a timing thing, right? You know, like would it make sense? Like we do a pop up or we do something that involves that? Yeah. Because I thought about doing a pop up for the toy shoots and selling prints and selling merch there. So that's kind of always something on the back burner, but.
You say you're a comic book fan. You ever thought about trying to shoot a comic? Like,
Bro, I only shoot because I can draw, bro. You got.
I can't draw shit either.
I'm giving away real like life secrets here. Like if I could draw, bro, I'd probably be drawing. Like, Yes, I would love to. I would love to shoot. It's funny because there's a couple of artists that I want to reach out to because they shoot actual comic covers. You know, you can, they're real life photo shoots to send out. Say, hey, let me shoot. Like James Tynion, he's a writer in Baltimore. A lot of his books are my favorites. I'd love to shoot something for him. Like, yeah, so I would love to. Yes,
I
absolutely.
said, do most things come from you reaching out or people reaching out to you?
It's that way now. It used to be like early in the game. It's hey, I'm trying to shoot. You know,
Make a
pay
name for
attention to
yourself.
me. Yeah, pay attention to me. I'm annoying the shit out of you right now. You know, I get that. But yeah, the last 3-4 years, it's been a full shift. Yeah, I'm at a point now, and it's not an ego thing. It's nothing to do with that. It's just how I turned down a lot of work because, like I said, the editing cache is 4 weeks back, and we're constantly adding to it and everything. So.
God damn, I forgot all about that one.
Oh man, and I knew my career shifted a little bit when you realize that you forget things and things pop up. Oh shit, I can't make that, or you know, so.
Like, since you've been doing it for so long and building the catalog, and you say you're about to have a team, trying to get a team together, like what would you want with the whole team that's be under you? Like, what would you want from them?
Expediency, honestly, like kind of working with people that are on the same schedule as you. You know, a lot of times, like P2 and I talk about that a lot, is like building out editors and stuff, but can turn something around in 24 hours. You know, a lot of the times, like a lot of glamorous work gets turned around quickly. A lot of the grunt stuff that takes the 10, 15 hours in the back end that isn't the glamorous stuff won't get turned around. But you have to treat it all with the same, you know, level of equity. And that's how, like, so building a team out that all share those kind of values with us, that's the most important thing.
Like
For sure.
that's a turnaround process, right?
Definitely, and just an extreme work ethic. Man, like we were talking about earlier, you know, that exposure stuff is like the longest pimp game, but it's also like, that matters too. You know what I'm saying? Like sharing that work ethic also matters. You know, you have to be willing to put those hours in. You know.
Do you remember like the most difficult video that you ever had to like edit? Like, I don't know,
I-71, the I-71 my man Emmanuel and I shot that for the I-71 committee, and that was like a 26-hour edit on the back end, and that was a 30-second spot. Because what we had done, we had taken hundreds of gigs of 6K video files, right, to compile them. But my system, so I had to upgrade my system and then edit this video within a time, right? Because I was new to the 6K stuff. That was an insane edit. And the fact that we got that on our time was
You said
crazy. About 25, 26 hours for 30 seconds, man. It was nuts. And I had 2 reshoots on the footage. I had 2 full reshoot days on that. It was insane.
So what's the longest shoot
Night
that
day.
you've done?
It was probably that. Because like I said, that was over 4 days. Yeah, it was over a 4-day span. So yeah, probably that.
6K. I don't know. That sounds.
Like yeah, like you're
What camera shoots 6K?
we shot the black, and then we shot a Z cam. Manuel was shooting a Z cam. So it was there was huge. We got hard drives for them. You know what I'm saying? Like you have hard drives for like the individual projects. That's when it gets a lot expensive, right?
So like the file size is like.
Right, man. I mean, I since GMG, we had done GMG for 3 months, and I'd run through a 2 terabyte like that. You know, just in the first 3 months of GMG. So yeah.
Any residencies or things like that you would love to do?
Oh man, that's another one of those tricky ones. Like, any sort of BTS on any kind of like HBO set would be fantastic. It'd be amazing. That kind of work. It's not really as much of like a residency, but that kind of work would be cool. Or being able to have my own, like the Jake Was Here residency. I think come learn under me now at this point. I'm kidding. That's more like a pipe dream type thing, right? But that'd be cool.
Something like that you can give.
Yeah, right.
Do you have any proteges? Anybody under you? Like might be.
I think I definitely think there's people that they hit me up and you know like we talk and they'll say you know you inspire me to do this. So I think there's that, right? I think there's that. I wouldn't say anybody directly says, oh, I know from Jake, man. That guy just, you know, I learned everything I know from him. You know, I don't think there's any of that going on. I think that'd be too egotistical to say that. But I don't think there's people who look to what I do and kind of look at the process and how we do it and say, oh, this is a good blueprint for that. You know, but as far as working out, there's other people that I work with and want to build the team out. A couple guys that I mentioned, but they're their own men. You know what I'm saying? They're doing their own thing too. So they're not like. I wouldn't say those guys up like.
Yeah, like scheduling.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Just building a bigger team out.
What do you see yourself in the next 5 years with this? You've been on it for a while. Like, what?
Yeah. Same same as a media company, having a team built out, having that infrastructure, GMG growing, Bo, back on the road, back touring, all that. Yeah, kind of just the process of what we're doing. We're kind of in the middle. It's kind of hard to look to that piece, right? Because I feel as if for the first time in our careers, we're right in the middle of where we want to be going, what we want to be doing right now. So hopefully the 5 years are just a progression of what's happening right now. I'd be great with that. You know.
Sure, well, not telling them whatever else again that you have coming out and where they can find you. Also.
Songbird, June 13th, Tuesday. Make sure you're there. Appreciate you guys for having me. It's been an incredible opportunity. Awesome. And yeah.
We got the show. You doing this show right coming up? What's that? August?
Yeah, I got the BYP show in August. Yep, Union Stage, August 9th.
19.
No, August 19th. That's what. Yep. That's what.
Yeah. All right, where can they find you at social media?
I am Jake was here on all socials.
All socials.
All socials. Check me out.
All right, appreciate you, man.
No, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so
It's your
much.
boy Sly the Guy.
Shane, Big Shane.
Out those podcasts.
And button don't
Yes, sir.